Thanks.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. So I was looking at some of you guys's whatchamacallit, outlines just to go over on who completed their homework. I have Naima, Marisol, Genesis, Deborah, Kevin, Shania, Lewis, Olivia, and Daniel. If I did not call your name and you did your outline, let me know. Quadro.
No. I put mine on the Google Docs. I mean, the Reading Rocks, the ELA bunch. So I don't know why.
Okay, I had checked it like this morning, so I'll do
Oh,
another round while you guys are working independently on your jobs.
thank you.
No problem. Where did you go? Okay. Okay, then Stefan, I'll get to your question in a second. Prince, I'll check yours. Jennifer, I'll check yours, okay? All right, so let's move on. Olivia, you have a question? Okay, all right. So I want to go over the prompt again because it seemed like a lot of us were a little bit confused based off what your outlines were telling me. I'm going to read it. And the reason why I have certain parts highlighted is because these are the key things you need to look for and you're answering in your assignment. Okay, so the third performance task of the unit requires you to assume the role of Albany, the husband of Gonril, who appears hesitant in the play to bow to his wife and sister-in-law's wishes regarding the former King Lear and the impending war with Britain. So yesterday, remember, we went over the different characteristics that Albany and Gonril have, and just establishing credibility as Albany because you have to assume his role. You are writing this speech from him, so in order to sound as credible as possible, you need to pretty much know everything about Albany to assume that role. Then this next highlighted part is, in assuming the role of Albany, you will write a letter to his wife and sister attempting to persuade them to adjust their course of action, relent on their mistreatment of Lear, and help avoid the impending war being waged by Britain in the attempt to seek revenge for Lear's disgrace. So, Albany is not the bad guy. Gonril and Regan are the ones who are causing a lot of problems, and you as Albany are trying to convince them, persuade them to change all of their actions, okay? This last part that I highlighted is important because, let me read it first. The goal of this performance task is to analyze a key problem and culminating event in the play through the eyes of one of the secondary characters to assimilate textual details in your writing and strengthen your persuasive writing skills within the alternative format of letter writing. Okay, so hold on one second. Okay, so hold on, Karen, just one second. So I just want to explain a few things. Given that you're trying to convince Regan and Gonril to change their actions, sorry, hold on. Some arguments that they can make to you as Albany is that in order to continue, the reason why they should continue mistreating their father and support the war going on, they can say that Lear was a fool and he's too prideful. And why would you want someone to continue to lead who carries those characteristics? That's one argument that they can make. Another argument that they can make is King Lear, he's old and he already gave up his kingdom, so he's no longer in charge. So as Regan and Gonril, they already still have the right to do what they're doing. And then lastly, another argument that they can make is that Cordelia and Kent, they're technically the leaders of France, and they are the traitors of King Lear. So being that they were considered traitors of King Lear, they can feel revenge and continue on with the battle since they're considered traitors. Okay, so given those kind of arguments that they can make, how as you as Albany can persuade them, even though they think that, to think otherwise. Okay, so that's the goal of the assignment. Okay, I know I went a little bit fast, but do we have any questions before I move on with the remainder of the lesson? Kiara?
So we're supposed to write. We're supposed to be the role of Albany, and we're persuading to stop the mistreat of Lear.
Yes. You're persuading Regan and Gonril from mistreating their father and stopping the war. So everything negative that they're doing, you're trying to convince them to stop doing that. Okay. Let me scroll through and see if anyone else had questions. Anyone else have questions? Are we all on the same page? Yes, Kiara.
I cannot chat because it says Daniel Castro to chat. I don't know why.
Mr. Erda, can you make me the co-host or the host so that they can send me messages, please? He's gonna do that in a second. Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, so what we're going to focus on for the next few minutes is the introduction. Hold on. As always, as you guys seen this diagram before, in your introduction, you always want to start off with an interesting hook, give context, background on the topic, deliver your main reasons, and then your thesis statement, okay? Remember I had said earlier, yesterday, that Gonril and Regan are very hostile people. So the best way to engage them is appear as empathetic and sympathetic as possible, because people who are hostile, you have to kind of work with them a little bit more to persuade them. All right. So we've all read the story of Romeo and Juliet. I'm going to model to you an introduction from Romeo and Juliet, so you guys can get a little bit more context of how you can introduce your speech. Before we do that, can I have someone summarize what happened in Romeo and Juliet? Someone summarize what happened in Romeo and Juliet. Kiara, Louis, okay, Louis, you can go ahead. Louis, go ahead.
What happened was that Romeo and Juliet parents family don't like each other, so their love was forbidden, and then they still love each other. So then they went secretly to like hang out with each other, and then Romeo was gonna be banished for killing someone. And then Julia had to marry someone else, and then she asked the priest to give her this like potion so she will go to sleep, and then she was gonna give a letter to Romeo to come with to wake her up, but the letter didn't go to Romeo. So then Romeo killed himself, and then Julia killed herself too.
Thank you, Louis. That was perfect. And I'm glad that you highlighted the part where Romeo had killed someone. He killed Mercutio, correct? Yes. Yes, Kiara?
I said Paris.
Yes, wait. Paris?
Romeo killed Paris. That's the person that Juliet was supposed to marry.
Okay,
Because
wait. Sorry, go ahead.
I said because Paris killed his best friend, so Romeo killed Paris. Also, that's the person that Juliet was supposed to marry. That wasn't gonna happen.
Okay. So then I got that mixed up. Okay. So, but we do remember that Mercutio died, right? Do you remember that? We all remember that. Okay. So Mercutio died, and so for this example, it's a letter from the point of view of the friar writing to the prince to lessen the sentence on against Romeo. Okay, so we're already dealing with a hostile environment situation. So as I'm reading, I want you to pay attention to how the friar, how the friar is appealing to Prince's emotions. Okay, all right. Sorry, let me move some of this stuff because I cannot see. Okay. Dear Prince, let me begin my letter by offering you my sincere condolences for the loss of your relative Mercutio. He was a wonderful young man, full of spirit, and the fight that led to his death is a terrible tragedy. I applaud your efforts on ending the feud that led to Tybalt and Mercutio's fight, which was only one fight that many between the two families. I am also grateful to you for lessening the sentence on Romeo and not sentencing him to death for Tybalt's death. While I understand the need for a sentence to be carried out upon the young man for his crime, I'm writing to persuade you to reconsider exile and consider the implications of allowing Romeo to remain in Verona, married to Juliet Capulet, with whom he is very much in love. Their marriage has been kept secret because of the feud, but if I may say so, I believe that such an alliance between them might do more to end the battle between the two families than exiling Romeo. Okay, so in what ways does the friar appeal to Prince's emotions and values and beliefs in the introduction? He's very sympathetic, but how does he do that? How does he appeal to his emotions? Olivia, go ahead.
He appeals to his emotions by he eases into like the prince by first like offering his condolences and talking about how great Mercutio was,
Mm-hmm.
and about other stuff that he did in a positive way, and then and then he touches on the topic on banishing Romeo, and then gives his opinion or like his word on it and like what he thinks should happen.
Okay, good. I like that you mentioned that because there is a delay before he goes into his request. Why do you think, Olivia, don't answer this, but why do you think it's a good strategy to go in to have a delay before you go into your request in a speech or in a letter? Why might a delay in your request be a good technique to have? Louis?
Because you don't want it to sound like you that you're forcing them to do it. You want them to do it because they want to do it, not because you want to do it.
Exactly, good. So essentially you kind of want to build them up and butter them up because in that case your audience will be more willing to listen to you. a lot of us as humans, we don't like to be told what to do and controlled. But also, like, if people are more empathetic to your situations and your emotions, you're more willing to answer to them and do what they ask in a general sense. So you as Albany would have a better chance of convincing Regan and Gonril to change their course of action and mistreating Lear if you come across more empathetic. And then lastly, before we have about 15 minutes. Okay, so one thing I want to touch on, I want to reiterate the idea that Gonril and Regan are very hostile people. So the best way to be convincing is present your arguments as solutions and compromises. So you don't, like Lewis said, you don't want to come across as like you're telling them what to do. You want to come across as like both of that you guys are working together so you guys can have a better solution at the end of the day. So again, when faced with a hostile audience that might not listen or might not want to make all the changes, we suggest sometimes we need to accept compromises or come up with solutions that our audience will accept. So we have about 14 minutes left. I want to give you as much time to get started on your drafts. For this 14 minutes, I really want you guys to revise and over your outline, given that I went over the prompt more and explained what exactly you need to do to be successful in answering this prompt. And then after you revise that, I really want you to spend time on making sure your introduction has a solid foundation, okay? So that means you have your hook, you're giving background information, your main reason, and your thesis statement. Yes, Liz, what's your question? Hold on 1 second. What just happened? Hold on. Okay, Lewis, give me a second because there's something going wrong. I'll answer your question in a second. Can everyone still hear me? Okay. Just give me a second because I don't know why it's not letting me unmute you. And YouTube here because I saw your hand go up. So yes, go ahead and get started in your drafts. I'm gonna stop you in like 7 minutes so I can explain to you what the homework is. And then that's gonna be it for the rest of the day. Give me a second, Lewis and Kieran. Hold on, Jason.
Jason, you're unmuted.
Okay, can I go get water? I had to.
Sure.
You're
I
in
had
your
to-
house.
Yeah, sure. Can you unmute Lewis and Kiara? They have questions.
Lewis and Kiara. Yeah, Lewis, you're unmuted.
So are we doing our intro right now?
Yeah, get started on your intro.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tiara.
The reading homework. Can you please give me the link because I didn't save it in the other chat because I left.
The homework for tonight? Okay, I'll do that right now.
Okay.
Ira, did you have a question? Okay, Okay, what's your question?
For me to go to the what is it called? The place to write, I have my screen is gonna go off, so is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm posting the reading homework right now. Sorry, that is not that. Okay, I just sent the reading homework again, just in case you guys didn't get it. Okay. I'm gonna check homework on my phone right now, okay?
She can get in now. I've unlocked it.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
We're gonna come back in 2 minutes. Okay, let's bring it back. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Okay. So for your for your writing homework, I'm only requiring you to complete your introduction in 2 body paragraphs. We're gonna continue drafting tomorrow, so I give you more time to draft, and I want to go over more on like what you should include in your body paragraphs tomorrow, because we only really talked about introduction today. So that's that, and then I sent out already your homework for reading and writing via Jupyter. I attached the PowerPoint from today, so you can reference that if you need anything from it. And then also in the Jupyter message that I sent, I put a link to my Zoom meeting. I'm having office hours from 4 to 4:30, so if you have any questions about the reading homework or the writing homework, I will be in there to answer and help you. I'm sorry I didn't get to everyone's questions today, but if your question was unanswered, 4 to 4:30 would be a good time to come in and get those questions answered. Are we all clear on what our writing homework is? Thumbs up if you are. Okay, Hira, what are you unclear about?
So for homework, we're supposed to do the introduction, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and 2 body paragraphs.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. So intro and 2 body paragraphs. And then we're gonna finish our drafts, the remaining of our drafts tomorrow. Kevin, were you confused still about anything? You good? Okay, Jason, you had a question. Where are you? Jason, you had a question?
If the chat glitches again and we can't ask Mr. Oda questions, how will we ask him?
Huh?
If the chat glitches again and we can't ask Mr. Oda or like the secondary teacher questions, how could we?
He's here right now.
I know, but like remember earlier when I went to get water, I was gonna ask him, but I couldn't because the chat is messed up.
Oh, okay. I think that's something I need to like figure out with him because I don't know how that works as far as like chatting with him. And then someone else raised their hand. No. Okay. So remember, reference the Jupyter message. If you need help from 4 to 4:30, I'll be here in my in the Zoom. Go ahead and go to specials and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye all. Goodbye. Kiara, did you have a question? Oh. What's your question?
Are you sure you gave me the right link, because I cannot click to the answer questions for reading.
Wait, did you opened it on your phone?
I don't have a phone.
Would you open it on your computer?
Shut up, Louis.
Louis, go to specials.
Exactly.
Let's play.
Okay,
No, the computer.
let me try to send it to you one more time, really quick.
Louis, go to specials.
Where is it?
I'm removing him.
No,
He's
son
removed.
ever. Thank you.
Okay, Kiara, here it is. Okay, tell me if that works.
Oh, there it is. Thank you.
It works?
Yep.
Okay, cool. See you later.
Bye.
All right. Deuces.